the show going, man.
Hurry up! Hurry up! Hurry up! Hurry up!
Hurry up!
Come on now. We're going to have action soon. Right here. It ain't going nowhere.
Boy, your ass got some technique, boy. You ain't show me that this summer.
Hey, Wildcat.
Ball at the 5, 3rd down and 2.
That was bad.
Let's go have some fun, bro. We ain't got to talk about too much.
He wasn't playing the ball.
It's holding.
Cliff. It's a cliff. How is that not called?
That ain't going to call a damn thing.
What is the delay for? He's standing right there.
He's taking a card out. He's a piece of paper.
It's that close? Dear Lord.
Hello and welcome. We're the Aussie Guys. I'm AJ. Here with me is G. How are you, G?
Very well, mate. Sunday, what is it?
Afternoon.
Sunday afternoon.
Yeah, it is a Sunday.
1 o'clock?
Yes.
1 o'clock.
And this is a very you're about to head overseas.
Shooting the shit pod.
It is shooting the shit.
Because for the first time ever, I do not have one piece of paper around
You
me.
don't? That's highly unusual.
I was just, when we intro our guest, I was just speaking to our guest off air.
Yes.
And I just said, mate, 5 minutes ago I was trimming the hedges.
You were, yes.
And not my wife's hedges. The actual garden hedges.
Yes, we do have a guest, and we might be joined by others later. I don't know. I've just put the link out there.
That just went straight over your head.
And we'll just...
I heard a bit of a snigger.
Trimming the hedges. Yeah, you have been known to do some body sculpting, I know. Some manscaping.
Hey, I will talk about it in a minute. Introduce our guest. I got some more manscaping going on.
Yeah.
Tomorrow. Yeah.
Look, it's water off a duck's back at this point.
Nothing would surprise you, would it? Or shock you?
Not at all. Kyle from the fantasy football fellas, the better fella,
mate. Seth is dead to me. He's dead to me.
What's up, guys, man? Yes, I was going to say sorry to disappoint you, but I'm just the only one apparently just kicking around, not doing much. It's Saturday night. It's 10 o'clock, and I was just like, you know what? Sure, I'll just jump on with these guys. So thanks for having me on.
If it wasn't for you coming on, I'd say that's pretty sad.
Well,
we did it up yesterday, pretty big. It was Seth's birthday this week, so
nice.
We went out, and he's getting old. He's getting up there. So, but we did hang for a bit.
A whole 28, isn't it?
Yeah, it's 28. He's an old fart.
Yeah, I'll let him know about what I thought about being 28 again.
Yeah.
That'd be nice, wouldn't it?
He's the baby of our group that we all hang out with here too. So he gets it all the time.
Mate, it's quite amazing though, because everybody we speak to, like, it's just like they talk about like, oh man, I'm getting old, and you say, how old are you? Oh,
30
28
or
30.
It's like, oh my, turn
I
it
start
up.
thinking, what am I doing this for? Why am I talking to these guys? Why are they talking to me? I'm 50.
No, there are a number of guys that are up there.
Not mentally 50.
Well, the best is when I'll be talking to somebody that even is remotely knows what fantasy football is, and I'll just be like, oh, you do a podcast? Like, oh, yeah. And it's like, well, like, how did you get into that? Or like, have you, and I'm like, oh, this. And so eventually we'll get to the point of like people I've met through doing this. And then, but when it breaks down to purely just, yeah, I know this one guy who lives nowhere and I've never met him, and I met him on the internet. It's like most people's default is like, well, that's freaking weird. But man, I've met some really cool people doing this, and you guys have been awesome. So I hear you, man. It's all good. The internet's a beautiful thing.
It is, because there is no age on the internet.
Mm-mm.
Well, you can be anyone you want to be.
There should be. There should be at least a minimum,
But it's almost like ordering a Russian bride, isn't it? Talking to someone you've never met before.
Yeah.
And becoming friends. Who was the football? Who was the player? It was a couple of years ago, the NFL player that when he was in the draft, he was talking to some girl that didn't really exist.
Manti Te'o. You mean the catfishing thing?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, that was, and he played at Notre Dame. And we're outside of Chicago. Notre Dame is like Chicago's unofficial college football team. So Notre Dame's huge around here. And I remember when all that came out and hit the fan, like even locally, man, he was just getting destroyed.
But it happens so easily.
Yeah. I'm sure.
Sure.
Happens all the time. There's and now there's shows and documentaries and movies and stuff about all this stuff. So I don't know, man. It can be the internet. Like I said, it can be used like for a lot of cool things, and then there's other stuff where you're just like, man, people just suck.
Yeah, but like for all you know, I've been just lining all you guys, you, Randy, Seth, Johnny Sheps. I'm just going to go on a mass killing spree when I get over the States. They're going to welcome me into the home. They have no idea who I am. I put on this facade, and then boom, all gone.
That went very dark.
What we did, Seth and I went out to Indy and caught a game with Memphis last year.
And it was funny,
a great
photo.
It was funny because it was just like we've been talking to this guy for a few years, but I mean, how much do we really know about him? And then but then but he's inviting us in and being a great gracious host, and I'm sitting there like, man, I hope I don't get like murdered.
Was there any and obviously, I mean, no one's listening to this, but was there any level of, because, like, we've all done that, I guess, where we've spoken to someone online and then after a time have met them. Was there any sort of awkwardness? I mean, we know Randy well. We all know Randy well. Yeah. Get on with him well. But, was there anything that was just a bit like, some awkward silences?
Didn't expect that.
And
I would say I would be lying if I said there wasn't any at all. Like it was I think on everyone's behalf it was kind of like, but the weirdest thing that you have to get used to is now you can finally put like a face with the voice that you've been talking to or listening to on podcasts for so long. Right. I mean, even seeing them on a web, we do Skype or whatever, and you see it, but it's just like, oh, this is a real person now. So.
Yeah. It's the in-person person that you know now. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
The in-person person.
I got a draft. I got a buddy that hooked me up with some people that just are on Twitter, Dynasty and stuff like that. And they actually set up a local league of guys here in the Chicago area. So we're doing a Dynasty Startup Live in person next weekend. But I've never met a single one of them. Okay, face to face. So it's gonna be very, very interesting. But I'm looking forward to it.
Well, we started that a couple of years ago, didn't we?
Yeah.
The best thing about fantasy that I enjoy is the drafting, and what we don't have here, because we don't have the amount of people playing it, is when you used to watch all these movies and all that, you used to see people sitting around a room. Yeah. And it used to be a whiteboard. Now when we get together, it's done all through the laptop and on a screen and whatnot. But that's the best part. So we never did that. So AJ, as he always does, being the commissioner of every league that I play in, does a great job. Put together, we actually, it's a 12-team league. We've never actually had 12 people in the room. We've had 11.
Yes.
There's always, so the first 2 years, the same guy didn't come. So he's gone, he's out. And now, when there was a chance to have 12 in the room, one guy has upped and moved to New York. That's correct, isn't it? New York?
Oh, yes.
Yeah. So we're back down to, I reckon we'd give him the...
Big mistake.
And he's like the reigning champ, so I reckon we just give him the flick as well.
Well, we've got a replacement, haven't we?
Because he probably listens to this.
We've got a replacement.
Have we got a replacement?
I think so.
I hope so. But that's the best part is we're all sitting in a room together. It's great. Everybody's sitting there with their laptop. So what we're going to do this year is we're going to live stream it.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, we're going to YouTube it. So
but there's not enough,
which is not good.
I don't know what your live drafts are like, Kyle, but like there wasn't enough sort of like I had all these little theme tunes and logos and stuff on the draft board. So when someone's pick would come up, it'd go dun dun dun,
whatever song you wanted,
whatever song you wanted,
yep.
And then people would just go Sony Michel.
Oh, see. So I've had it go a couple ways. So I have a local league that we started up about 7-8 years ago, and we made it mandatory that you have to be there. Just like you said, one of the best parts is getting together, right? And I have a buddy who we're all friends with, but he refused to play for the first 3 or 4 years, and now this guy he's one of the most insane fantasy players I know, which is awesome. But he did it up for us one year. We had it at his house in this huge. He has a garage. It's like a man cave, and he got together 150 highlight reel videos. Oh. So after every pick, he'd put it up on the screen behind as the next person was going up to pick or whatever.
Oh, really?
So he was managing that and his own draft.
How good's that?
So he was managing that and the highlights. So
AJ, you got to step your game up.
Oh, you want me to do that as well?
That is awesome, Kyle. That is, mate. That guy deserves, mate. I hope you all brought him a beer.
And I'm the commissioner of this league. It's not like I even did it. We just showed up. I'm like, what the hell, dude?
That is awesome. Because what I've always tried to do, and look, I'm not a computer savvy guy. I know how to surf porn. I've got that down pat.
There you go. That's just standard.
Yeah, it's a standard. Man, that's as far as I've got. I couldn't get past the porn, to be honest.
That's as far as you've got.
That's as far as
That's all you need. That's all you need.
So, but anyway, what I've always wanted to do was especially in the Two Legit league that we all play in, which is great and happened to be the reigning champ. But and actually, our commish Johnny Sheps sent me a message the other week saying the belt has arrived back at his house.
Perfect.
He didn't pay enough postage.
He didn't pay enough postage. I said, "You tight ass." But what he said is, he goes, "Look, here's an amount. Go down and get yourself like a trophy or to keep." But yeah, that's cool. Whatever.
Well, we might just have a Two Legit Australia trophy, because let's face it, we'll be passing it between us a fair bit.
Mate, just send us out here, because that ain't going anywhere for a while. So
that one stung last year, I'm not going to lie.
Yeah.
I thought we had you. I felt real good about it.
Mate, like I said, and I've said before, is that when you start 5 linebackers, and in the same week they all go off the nut.
And who do you have to thank for that?
You, AJ.
Yes, thank you.
AJ's my IDP guy. So I refer to him for my defensive bloke. So he helped me out with that. And look, my offense, and look, having Patrick Mahomes didn't hurt.
No
kidding.
Right.
He was my first player drafted. So
I mean, and who do you have to thank for that?
Me? Why?
Oh, I thought that you stole him.
Who from?
I thought it was from Sheps.
How did I steal him from Sheps? How do you steal someone in a draft?
I thought Sheps was the one that turned you on to Patty Mahomes.
Oh yeah, mate. I'll tell you right now, mate. That, and AJ will back me up. AJ's an honest guy. That he was my number one offensive player in that whole draft that came out across the board.
Gotcha.
So I picked him up in every league I could, mate. Every league that I had the opportunity to grab him, I have him sitting in my leagues now.
That feels good, doesn't it? When
it does.
When you're just, I've had those players where like I own this guy everywhere, and then he just goes belly up, and like, oh, that was a lot of fun.
So okay, well, let's talk about that. So give us some guys that you've gone and got. And this look, this is the best way, because everybody that I've noticed in the fantasy community loves to hype up who they picked and are deadly silent about the guys they got wrong. All right.
Yeah.
So give us 3 guys that you went out and got, and you got in for me playing fantasy. And we do we do all these pods and whatnot. And when are we analysts? I'm not. I just do this for fun. And I say one thing before I go any further. In the league, we just had the Scott Fish Bowl. I've read some Twitter on Scott Fish Bowl and guys saying, "Oh, I've got 5 fans in my league. I'm going to burn this draft. I'm going to smoke all these guys." Who makes people that do this part time or even full time know any more than a fan? Well, just because a fan doesn't do analysts, he doesn't do a podcast, doesn't mean that they don't read and look at and study. No different from anybody else. Because hell, mate, like I said on our last pod, I had one team when we first started, mate, and every night I was looking to make my team better. So that sort of jacked me off a little bit. So what my point was being that when you go and get a guy, I reckon the biggest proof is, do you own this guy in all your leagues when you have the opportunity to go and get him? That is the belief that you have in a person. So who are those guys you've gone out and just got? Mate, I'm not talking about going and grabbing, like the really high guys, like the Todd Gurley's when he came out. I'm talking about, because everybody knew he was going to be good. But like guys, probably middle of the road guys, maybe even lesser guys. Like one of the guys, for example, I'll give you, is I owned Tyler Lockett in every league that I play, every dynasty league that I played in. I had Tyler Lockett.
Gotcha. I mean, I got some names of guys that definitely didn't hit. If we want to go down that route, that's for sure.
Mate, we'll touch on those as well.
Yeah. So I mean, I would say last year the guy that I was trying to get ahead of everyone on was Cooper Kupp. And he was somebody that I was talking up a lot. So when that happens and he actually hits, and it was only 8 games, but the dude was a stud, right? That feels awesome, and that's why I get it when people are out there, tooting their own horn, I guess, on Twitter about how great they were at seeing this coming in. I mean, no one freaking knows. You just look at any NFL draft. These guys that have all of these scout teams and GMs, and it's their livelihood to not screw it up. They do it. They screw it up all the time. So, when you hit, it feels great. But there's definitely been some times where I've gone out, I've paid up, I put my money where my mouth is on guys, and didn't end up so well. So, I got a few of those if you want those.
Yeah, go for it.
So I once traded a first round pick for in a league in addition to the other places where I collected shares of this running back. And that was Amir Abdullah. That was.
Oh, mate, I was with you. I was stoking that fire with you, let me tell you.
Yep.
Dude, I watched that one highlight of that preseason game against the Jets like 100 times. Remember, he had like that really good long run? That was fun. And the other we talked about, we mentioned his name before the show, was Devontae Parker. I owned him in so many leagues coming out of school, and even after 2 years, I was like, oh no, it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. I'm buying in. Well, that didn't happen. So like I was trading him off for nothing. I traded him for peanuts on the dollar. This last year, I finally gave up. So everyone go get him now. He's gonna hit. He's gonna hit big time. And I had the other guy that is stuck in my mind still from last year that, again, I kind of did the same thing, went out and got him in a lot of places, was Jamal Williams of the Packers, man. I'm not doing a great job selling myself or anyone listening to this to go listen to anything I say ever, but Jamal Williams was somebody that I was pretty excited about coming out of school because he was the better pass protector of the two, of him and Jones, and I thought he could, he was drafted, I believe he was drafted ahead of Jones in the NFL draft, so I was piling all these things on, creating my own narrative, and then he's been disappointing. He had the 2 games last year to get it done, and he just crapped all over the place. So I still have most of these guys on a lot of fantasy rosters, and I'm just I get to stare at them every day, so it's a ton of fun.
But this is cleansing the soul. There's nothing wrong with cleansing the soul, Kyle, and that's what we're doing. You're laying out the person you are in front of everybody to see.
If Carlos Hyde hits this year, though, man, you better watch out, because I don't think Twitter will be big enough for my head. I have gone out and got him everywhere. I own him on almost all of my dynasty teams right now, so we will see. But I'm committed to that, whether I like it or not.
You and Seth do you guys watch a lot of college tape?
No, none. Okay. I pretty much take the approach of I'll watch college games. So what I like to do is, because my time is limited as far as resources to commit to prospects, is that I like to know about the guys a year ahead, and then I'll kind of keep an eye on them through any of the games I can watch on Saturdays and bowl games and that kind of stuff. And then after that, I guess not next to none. I watch a little bit, but only once I know then after the season, and as far as going into the draft, people that have already spent all their time on sifting through all the other crap, so I can just watch the good players.
Well, this is the thing you were talking about before about GMs and all the staff are paid good money to try and get this right. And what's the hit rate? What is it? It's like 30% or something, isn't it?
It's pretty bad. Oh yeah.
Okay, so let's look at it at that. Is it? You don't know, because the fact is, if you go back and you look, there's players that are an absolute stars in college, and they get to the next level and they just don't step up. And there's people in life, and it's across all sports, that once the level rises, they rise. There's these people that sort of just get through what they have to get through and never show you exactly who they are. And when the level goes, that's when they become the person that they are. And mate, it happens all the time in the NFL, doesn't it?
Yeah, there's so many factors in the NFL too, because like you said, there's the human aspect. There's also the things outside of their control, like landing spots and those types of things. And it's just, there's just so many freaking things that can go into whether someone's going to be a productive NFL player or maybe not even get the opportunity to be one, but or potentially pull themselves out of that situation, with just not being capable of handling that. So yeah, it's just there's just so much that goes into it. It's super tough for sure.
To be fair, it's not like GMs are picking consecutive. It's like your first pick might be the 32nd pick. So you're getting the 32nd best rated player, right? Mm-hmm. So it's not like you just get to cherry pick and say, "Oh, I want N'Keal Harry." You can't just cherry pick.
You got 6 rounds in the draft, and you just pick them all in a row. These are the 6 guys that I want.
Yeah, yeah. Sometimes you just fall backwards into something.
No, I'm saying,
but that's what I'm saying is you don't get the 6. You don't go, "Oh, you're first," and you get the 6. You pick whatever 6 blokes you want before the next guy.
Correct.
Has a pick.
Yeah. You're waiting. Like you might get the 32nd guy, and then maybe you don't have a second round pick, and then you get like the 85th guy, and like you're kind of So in ways, I think sometimes we don't appreciate how quickly that talent pool does drop off.
I find that really hard with the amount of people that play.
I know.
How does it drop off? So it's like the whole quarterback thing. Okay, we're sort of we are at the moment in an era of so many good quarterbacks.
Are we?
Oh, mate, there's a ton. There's a ton of good quarterbacks.
You mean in college?
No, in the NFL.
Are there?
Oh, come on, of course there is.
I feel like I feel like there is a fairly decent amount than even over the last few years. Like some of the names coming in, even this last draft class, and I guess it depends on how much you buy into it, but I think I'm with you. I feel like there's a ton out there right now. I feel like we're in a good era for quarterbacks.
Like the next few years is going to find out what the talent pool's like when like the guys like Roethlisberger, Brady.
Oh, true. Yeah.
Rivers.
Yeah.
These guys start to drop, drop off or just no longer playing anymore.
Yeah.
And then we're going to find out, what the talent pool's like. Because these guys are still here.
Yes.
And they've been around for, 15 years. And they're still good quarterbacks. So they're keeping the floor of the talent pool quite high.
Well, and I feel like, too, in the way the NFL is today, is that I feel like we're moving towards, it's going to be less of players dropping off and more of just players deciding they're done. Like, Brady I think he's a crazy example, but they protect these guys so well nowadays. It's just, I don't think it's necessarily going to be that they stop playing well and that their talent kind of drops away. I think they'll be able to kind of maintain that for much longer than they used to in the past. So that might help these guys have even longer careers than we've seen. But
now here's something which is interesting, just kind of on a side note. So Roger Goodell proposed, was it during the week, he put the thing about the 18-game season.
Yeah.
With the floor of, with the ceiling that every player would be capped at 16 games, right? Which, if you think that could potentially, when I think about that, I think, oh, yeah, it could work. But quarterback is the big problem.
So that's everybody.
Yes.
Every position.
Yes.
Correct.
And can you imagine buying tickets to a game? Like the Chiefs are coming to town. You buy tickets to watch Patty Mahomes suit up, and you show up to the stadium, and they're like, "Oh, he's not playing today. He's just electing to use this as one of his I'm sitting out games." Are you kidding? Like riots. You know what I'm saying? Like
they wouldn't be able to do that though, would they, Carl? With the way gambling's going in the States and all that now, and you'd have to know the week prior. They'd have to probably at the beginning. Could you do it at the beginning of the year, or would you do it in slots? We'll go, okay, this is the first 4 games, or however they divide it up. Mm-hmm. Okay, quarterback start this 4. Okay, next 4 is you're going to have a bye within the next 4. Like you have to give people notice. You can't say you play one week and go, hey, guess what? He's not going to play next week. You got to give. You got to
your hammies a bit tight. Oh, I'll take my week this week.
Oh, you're doing the old. They're going to throw in the old fake injury.
No, not fake. Well, no, not fake injury. But if you're just a little bit like a little gimpy, where you'd normally go, maybe now you say, "Oh, I'll take my week. I'll take a week rest. Might as well do it now."
Right.
Okay. So you say a week.
Yeah. I don't think this ever actually. I don't think this has legs. I think this is just the owners throwing something out there that they know the players won't do, but then when they have to concede on something like, oh, okay, I guess this crazy ass 18-game schedule thing, we'll give that up. Like it's just it's kind of throwing something out there and then putting it in the media, right? Like how did this make it out into? We all know. Okay, so
yeah,
potentially,
it's
freaking ridiculous.
Yeah, because that's quarterback would be the big sticking point. Although the greedy part of me thinks, ooh, another couple of games would be nice. But yeah, you're right. I mean, you wouldn't be a couple of pretty ordinary games, you know.
Yeah.
So I don't mind 16 games. I like the season being sort of, I suppose,
Compact,
16 being compact because every game means something. Like in here in
Basketball.
Oz, basketball, like you go and lose 4 or 5 games, well, who gives a shit? Like we'll make them up. It's like baseball. What is it, 160 something game? What the
163,
seriously? What is with that? What 160 how do they get people going?
I don't know, man. And I feel like that most sports should look to condensing that. But I think I agree with you guys. I think the NFL has like a perfect setup with their 16 game schedule. The only thing I would adjust to it is, you know, if they're really that worried about health, I'd get rid of the 2 preseason games and give everyone like an extra bye week or something.
Yeah, but no one plays in those, mate, do they? Like, seriously.
No, well, that's what I'm saying. Get rid of them. Just get rid of them. Give them an extra bye week. You know, give them 2 bye weeks throughout the year. They would do used just to prevent people from having to play on short weeks, and I think that would be perfect. But I don't want to add more games necessarily. I don't want to add more playoff spots either. Like I think it's really perfect the way it is. The NBA is ridiculous. It's 82 games or whatever.
It's nuts.
Everybody makes the playoffs almost. It's just, you know, and it's the same damn teams every year in the finals. So it's just like, you know, we don't want that to be our sport, you know, even though I guess the Patriots do it every year, but it doesn't seem like they do, right?
And this whole, like, let's not go one and done. Let's have a best of 3 and then a best of 5 or a best of 7. Basketball.
Oh, for basketball. Mm-hmm. What is it about basketball? Don't watch it until the last 2 minutes.
Yeah. Is
that
that takes an hour and a half, yeah.
Like my son plays basketball now, so it's good to go and watch it. And, mate, you have to watch it. They're only on there for 40. And there's no... Like, one of the dads yesterday was sitting there watching his son play the game before.
Yeah.
And, mate, this team's down by 5, and there's 10 seconds on the clock, and the other coach who's behind's called a timeout. And the other father looked at me, who was coaching my son for that day because their actual coach was away. He goes, 10 seconds to go, they're down by 5, the kids are 14 years old. This ain't the NBA, mate.
What does he expect?
This is not a game. This is not this is not where in the NBA, you know, tenths of a second can count because of everything happens so quick and they can do so much.
Yeah.
Mate, these are kids. They're not going to move the ball down the whole court in 10 seconds. He's called a timeout with 5 points down. Maybe if you were down by 2.
Oh, yeah.
And you set it up for a 3-pointer.
Yeah.
Right? And by the time he sets it all up in front of 14-year-old kids, by the time they walk back out in the court, they go, what the fuck did he just tell us to do? I can't remember.
I mean, what's the chances of one of those kids shooting from 3?
Oh, mate, my son played yesterday, and this kid shot 4 3-pointers.
Really?
In a row.
You're kidding me.
No.
Did he make them?
Yes.
No.
This kid was just going, he was just going nuts.
He was on fire.
Like, what we have here is that you play 4 games to determine what level that you play at.
Oh, yeah.
So what you want to do, what a lot of people do, is they lose at least 3 of them on purpose, so they get put into
it.
Yeah, it's bullshit, mate. There's a 14-year-old. Yeah, it's absolute. I can't believe this crap goes on, but it goes on because the father I was talking to yesterday, whose son is a really good player. He goes, mate, this has been going on ever since his son's been playing basketball, and he's been playing it for like 7 years. Right. Even like young kids, like under 10s. These parents and coaches want their kids to win every week, so they tank in the qualifying games. So my son, unfortunately, in their team, I think 2 teams pulled out. So what happens is you automatically get a win, and you win. If you win by more than 20 points, you go up another grade. So they play against these guys at the moment. They're getting hammered every week. And this team yesterday, they were good. Like, really good. They got hammered like 57-20.
Oof.
So I said to my son, all you can do is, when this happens, is just make yourself a better player. Don't worry about winning.
Yeah.
Just make yourself a better player, because at the moment you suck.
Yep.
I mean,
Is that what you said? Dad of the year.
Encouraging words. That's perfect.
He went and bought these brand new sneakers. I don't know who's that. What do they call him? The Greek freak.
The Greek Freak, yeah.
Oh, that dude's good. I don't know what his name is, but I just call him Mutumbo or whatever the guy is.
I can't pronounce it.
No, my son pronounces all the names perfectly.
Antetokounmpo. There we go.
There we go. Yeah. So he went out and bought his sneakers, these Larry orange and yellow and blue.
Right.
And he goes, "Can I get a new pair?" I said, "Mate, I'm not buying you a pair." I said, "Mate, you turn up to practice once a week and you play. If you think I'm forking out $180 for a pair of sneakers, mate, you're really mistaken." I said, if you
go and get a job,
you go and practice more often during the week, and you prove to me that you deserve them.
Yep.
This should become a parenting. This is going to become a parenting pod. Are you listening to this, Kyle? This is going to be you one day, mate.
You got the notebook out.
Yeah. I said, until you show me something, I'm not buying you anymore. Right? Okay, that's it. So he went and bought them out of his own money. Now that everybody goes, "Oh, well done." But his own money he gets like $500 every Christmas from relatives, right? So it's not like he's gone out and earned $1.
No.
Right? But he went and bought them. I said, "Dude, if you're going to wear those, mate, you got to step up."
Yeah.
You're the only guy out there with orange sneakers on, running around a basketball court.
Yeah,
dude. If you, there is a saying, if you can't be the part, look the part.
Yeah.
Well, mate, that comes in at certain times and certain ages.
I'm sure you guys have this at like if you ever I've gone to football games or whatever, and even in the NFL, and you got these guys walking around, in pregame warm ups, just swagged out, just and then they get out there and they're crap.
That was my whole sporting career.
Hey, but at least you had the pregame swag.
That's right. Pregame.
Can't take that away from you.
No, mate, I was useless. I was good at some sports and terrible at others.
Yeah.
It's just you got to find your niche. So,
I hear you.
You do,
because you want to be good. You don't want to play sport and suck.
One of the things which we were, did we talk about it already? We were going to talk about Scott Fishbowl, but during the week, Tyreek Hill. The news came down, no suspension.
Well, at the moment, there's no suspension, but aren't they looking into other parts of it still?
Are they still?
I don't know about you, Kyle. Explain what you think, mate.
The NFL, I thought, came out and said, "Yeah, we've done our investigation, and we're not suspending Hill for this."
How do you feel as a Cowboys fan after what Zeke goes through?
Yeah. So,
seriously, there's calls of suspension, with the security guard. Mm-hmm. Seriously, what are you doing anyway, dude? So, he's on the wrong side of the fence. Who
Zeke's got to get out of his own way.
He does a little bit.
Yeah.
Granted, but mate, you're a security guard, for God's sake.
As a Cowboys fan, for one, Jerry, when Dez is one of my favorite Cowboys of all time, and when he came out, right, he met with Deion Sanders too early, so he couldn't play football or whatever. And that was really it. Other than him just being loud and kind of obnoxious, it's not like he ever really got in any trouble, but they put these babysitters on him and all this stuff. And it worked, right? You never heard about it. There was that rumor about that there was a video of Walmart, that never came out, right? No. So, but I'm just like, okay, obviously Dez isn't in town anymore because we shipped him out. So why don't we just put whoever the hell was babysitting him for the last 10 years and give him to Zeke, just here's your new assignment, because I'm tired of all this piddly crap with him, man. It's just getting old. But as a Cowboys fan, that's what made this tough, because you try to stick to they're innocent until proven guilty thing. But whenever kids are involved, it's tough. And I'm not even a parent, but just the fact of dealing with that whole situation and the morality of it. Separate of all that, I mean, there's obviously something happened. And when Zeke gets 6 games for something that, he was investigated for, law enforcement found there was nothing there, not charged, I don't even think he was arrested in any of that. And he gets 6 games after all that back and forth. And Hill gets nothing, literally nothing. That it just kind of makes you wonder, okay, what the hell is really going on here? Is it just okay, well, we're far enough away from the Ray Rice thing that, it's not as big a concern, as opposed to when it happened with Zeke, it was only a year or 2 out, right? So they still had to make their stance because they screwed up the Rice thing so bad. I don't know. If he didn't do it, then, yeah, I mean, he shouldn't get punished for something he didn't do, but it's just, where there's smoke, there's fire, I guess,
Look, I didn't know we were going to talk about this. Wasn't there a player who was having a court case and he got suspended?
Yes. The Ravens cornerback. Who was it?
And that was that he never did it. It was just a verbal, something verbal he said, wasn't it?
It was similar, yes, and it was in a court proceeding.
And he got 4 weeks.
4 weeks.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh man, I missed. When was that?
That was last year. I can't remember who it was.
But we've got actual audio of what Tyreek Hill said to his partner,
whatever her name is, Espinal.
Yeah. You know, like, you should be scared of me too. Like, what the, mate, that's just, I don't.
Oh, it was Jimmy Smith. That was it.
Yes.
There
Jimmy
we go.
Smith.
Like, mate, how do you suspend one and not the other? I don't get it. Maybe Jimmy Smith, it doesn't put as many asses on seats. Maybe.
I mean, it always comes down to that, right? And the thing with Hill was like, and I haven't been keeping up with it because
he's got a little background in this type of stuff too.
That was the thing, and then it came out that he's like, oh, I that never really happened in college. I just said it did so I could make it go away. I'm like, well,
to make it go. I admit to beating the crap out of someone and hitting someone that's pregnant just to make it go away.
Yeah, I'm like, that's ridiculous. Level. Like, so he's just, it is what it is, man. I mean, from a fantasy perspective, just looking at it separately, like I said, of the morality of it, it's just like, all right, we got one of the most explosive players back. And if you're willing to put someone like that on your team, which if you're not, there's plenty of other names you probably have blacklisted as well in this league. But, he's going to be out there. It's one less headache, I guess, that we have, especially after all the holdout crap going on. It's just like, all right, well, at least we know we got this guy for 16. But
so how do you think it affects, like I saw some Twitter, people talking about it after it was announced on Twitter and saying, well, there goes Sammy Watkins' value.
Oh,
well, how do you feel about it? Like, I've never been what's the word? Component? No, I've never been.
Truther is
well, I've never agreed with the fact that if one guy's in, the other guy gets hurt.
Oh, I got
it. That's to me having Tyreek Hill there. Actually, if Sammy Watkins can stay goddamn healthy, I think he can be as productive, if not more productive, with Tyreek Hill in the team. Mate, you take that coverage and you push it to the other side of the field. Mate, you're keeping an eye on Tyreek Hill all the time.
Of course.
All the time. We saw what the Patriots did. Mate, everybody just stay on Tyreek, and it worked. What, you don't think anybody else is going to follow Bill Belichick and how he stopped Tyreek Hill now that this season comes along?
I've heard he's an okay coach.
Yeah.
I've never heard of him until not that long ago.
Just recently.
He's new, right? He's new.
Flying under the radar.
Sammy Watkins' value has nothing to do with him as a player. Sammy Watkins' value's got everything to do with when he's on the park. When he's on the park, look what he's done. Look what he did at the Bills. Look what he's done at the Chiefs when he's fit. Well, 90%. Mate, he scores. Yeah. He puts up big numbers.
And just quietly, Patty Mahomes throws the ball a bit.
Yeah.
Having a half-decent quarterback helps. But
I'd be buying in on Sammy right now, man. If people are going to be down on him because he's now competing, quote unquote, for targets. I mean, you look at his games last year. He had a great season when he was actually, like you said, when he was on the field. He was injured. That's the biggest question mark.
Yep.
I never thought that his value should have increased that much without Hill on the field, or potentially. So I would be buying in big time to Sammy. Maybe you knock him down a peg or two over what his ceiling could have been if like Hill was completely out of the offense or gone for 6 games. But in reality, I think he's a solid wide receiver too, and I'd love to have him on my squad because I think he's got some serious upside. Like you said, he's on one of the better offenses in the league too, and he'll be in his second year of that offense as well. Like that was his first year with the Chiefs, so you always see improvement there after year one.
A sneaky buy.
I think it hurts DeMarcus Robinson.
Yes, it does. I was just going to say, a sneaky buy for me this offseason was DeMarcus Robinson. But
we knew Hill wasn't going to be there. He was going to play some football. But you think, okay, so he gets 6 games. He gets 8 games. You got half a season where DeMarcus Robinson can do something and go, well, shit, mate, look what we got.
But that depth chart's not crazy deep either. Let's be honest.
No, it's not. And, I mean, the receivers with Kelsey there, even with Sammy, right? He's the third best target, So it's just – but when you're looking at it especially from a dynasty perspective, there's no problem taking a flyer on anybody in a really good offense, but especially like that where there's not that much ahead of them. I agree, man. I think taking a flyer there even without this news is always a good option.
Oh, look, I guarantee you come week 13 or 14, people are going to be blowing their wad, whatever they've got left on their waiver wire, on guys we have not heard of. Mm-hmm. Because suddenly they're fantasy relevant.
Well, we've heard of them, but we just don't want them in our team right now. No, seriously, we don't. Like I must admit, let's move this. We'll shift this across to the Scott Fish Bowl because that's what we just. Yeah. And we don't want to talk about that all the time, but it gives us, it's a draft that's going on. Some are probably still going on. Mine only finished on Friday night.
Oh, you're kidding me.
My last 2 picks.
Scott posted, Scott Fish posted earlier today that 9 drafts are still going on.
9.
As of us recording
doing
this.
your head in, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Oh, my God. Yeah. Obviously, they're letting the 8-hour clock just... Well, I think we had about maybe, 3 or 4 times it hit the 8-hour mark.
Timeout?
Oh, yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Well, and what, mate, what are you guys doing? Like... I get up and I set
overnight.
I set my alarm every 3 hours, right? And I got up. I just had a look. Am I up? No. Okay. How far am I away?
Yes.
And so if it's getting close, I'll change it to 2 hours. So I'll set it to 2 hours. So it was like I had a countdown clock.
You don't believe in that pre-draft life?
No, because, mate, the whole part... Look, the whole fun part of it for me is actually...
Physically making the pick.
He's making the pick.
Yeah,
he's like going, is there... Like, you have no idea what's going on. If there's a run going on, I'm going to line up, 2 running backs, these 2 wide receivers, a tight end, and then I'll put a quarterback, with my 5th pick. All of a sudden... Mate, quarterback.
Yeah.
Like, what was the biggest run of Scott Fish Bowl? Was it 9 quarterbacks in a row? I think it was.
I think so.
Like, mate, if you've lined up, 3 other skilled positions for your next 3 picks, you're screwed. But if you do it at the time and do it live, you can go, okay, there's a run on. Mate, I better grab one of these guys to the left because I've got another 8 picks before it comes back around to me, or wherever you are. It might be 18 picks. It might be 2, depending on if you're at one of the turns. But I'm going to get it. I'm going to get both my quarterbacks now. That's what I did. I went quarterback. Bang, done, dusted, don't have to worry about it.
Yep.
Which I should have probably worried a little bit more because I ended up with 2 quarterbacks that had the same bye week. So I honestly didn't even check that, and I just figured,
that
week 9.
Whatever.
So I'm going to lose 1 week, and I might as well make it that week. That's the only loss. Make it week 9, which is a terrible week. Week 9 and 10 are shockers.
Yeah, and I guess I just didn't mean to be an asshole about it. I agree with you. I only want to pre-draft like when I'm 2 or 3 picks away. Like, and usually not until like starting in the middle of the draft. Then I start doing that when it's kind of like I have my team set. There's no way I'd want to do like a round out, and to be like, oh great, I missed out on that opportunity or whatever. But yeah, the bye weeks that we went QB early too in ours with our 2nd and 3rd pick, and then when we were looking at 3rd quarterbacks. There were like every option of all the lower end guys all had a bye week that matched up with one of those 2 guys. So we were like, all right, forget it. I mean, we ended up getting a 3rd guy, but we weren't prioritizing it. We were just like, okay, whatever, forget it. We'll just, we'll figure it out later.
Yeah,
we got a while.
Hold on, just wait for a sec.
Oh no, it's all right. Keep talking.
Keep talking. Okay, Adrian's father-in-law's just come downstairs. He's been doing a bit of cooking upstairs. It smells absolutely beautiful.
Oh, yeah, nice.
So we'll just keep going. We'll just don't worry about it.
All good.
All good. So where'd you take your quarterback? Because this is how this is set up. It's a 2 quarterback league, obviously. Oh, super flex league anyway. So everybody's it's 2 quarterback league. I was really surprised with the group of guys that I was and girl. I think there was at least one girl in there, Morgan. That. I said to Adrian, I said, these guys are picking, it almost feels like a redraft 1 quarterback league. Like, I was just waiting for, the run on quarterbacks to go, and we never had one. We just, I think maybe 3 was the biggest run we had, and they're just, mate, there were still guys available in like round 8 you could start. And I'm waiting, mate, in the other previous years I've played in it, mate, they're all gone. Everybody's gone by round 8. Did you feel it's a different vibe this year, or was it just the league that I was playing in?
Yeah, no, ours was similar to that. We picked, Seth and I co-own this team this year, and we picked
Seth,
4th.
Who's dead to me.
Yes, exactly. So I ran the team, and then so I had the 4th pick, and we went with we kind of just obviously took whoever was left of the running back. So the thing I was worried about was getting a quarterback. Because I kind of wanted one of the top 4 guys, but I was like, I don't know if they'll get back to us. Everyone, obviously, Mahomes is going to be gone, but that didn't happen. We ended up going at 209, we took Deshaun Watson, and then at 304. Rodgers was still there, and of my top 4. So I was like, okay, we're just doing this. We're taking care of this right now. And then obviously because we've already invested into 2 quarterbacks, I did keep an eye on it, just hoping that, okay, everyone else keep taking quarterbacks. So these guys push down. And it didn't really happen like I would have expected it. There were guys like you kind of said in your league, like here, Josh Allen went in the late 7th. Phillip Rivers went in the 8th, and ours, well, was it Jimmy Garoppolo went in the 9th round? Like those are guys that would have been perfectly fine starting. Tom Brady went in the 9th. Stafford and Carr went in the 9th, like late 9th. So, and especially in this format, like Brady should have probably been pushed up a little bit because of the ill effects of interceptions.
Yes.
So that's why we took. I actually had Rodgers as my QB3 over Luck, just because Luck kind of does throw a few more picks, and Rodgers threw 2 last year.
So we should mention that in this league this year that you lose 4 points. Is it 4? Yeah, I think it's 4 points for a pick, and 6 if they run it back.
Pick 6. Yeah.
So mate, that's for guys like mate, it automatically gets rid of guys like Jameis Winston.
Yes.
Yeah. So my 2 were, I just try to pick guys that were. Dak Prescott's one that doesn't throw many interceptions. So I got Matt Ryan, who's throws hardly any. And actually, Jared Goff is another guy that has doesn't throw a lot of interceptions now. Just the way the whole offense is set up and the way he's coached. I grabbed those. Goff is a guy that I wouldn't get in the dynasty league because I don't know how long he's going to be in LA, to be honest. But this is a redraft league, so I'm happy with him for 1 year.
What order do you get though? Because I like Matt Ryan a lot. He's kind of like in his own tier for me at 5 among the QBs. So did you take Ryan first and then Goff?
Yes.
Or how did that work out?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Because in ours, Goff went in the 3rd and Ryan didn't go to the 5th. That was the one where I was just like, oh my gosh, like people are down on Matty Ice right now. It seems like at least more down than I would be on him because I like him.
I don't understand that because I think this is a bit of a homer thing being a Falcons fan, but I think this offense is going to be really good. I think it's going to start. No, is that wine? Yeah. You're drinking wine? Yeah. AJ's brought down a glass of wine. Then he's asking.
Classy.
I know. Damn.
You better get me off the show then.
Is it Chardonnay?
No, it's Sauvignon Blanc.
Sauvignon Blanc.
Sauvignon who?
Sauvignon Blanc. If it's not a beer, Carl's going, I don't know what you're talking about.
Who, what, where?
No
but
idea.
I think I took Matty with my first pick at. Ooh, geez, I think I took him. I was picking at the end, so maybe the end of the 3rd.
Still SFB?
Yes.
Yeah.
Maybe the 3rd, and then I took Goff at the beginning of the 4th, and it was just a position, or maybe it was one round later, but I just wanted to get my 2. I didn't want to worry about it going the whole long haul and coming back. Yeah, and I don't have to worry about that anymore. I don't have to concern myself.
You might have already spoken about this, but the lack of a quarterback run, the lack of urgency.
That's what I just spoke about. To me, it was like I was playing in a single QB league.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, there were guys then really available, like Dak, like just so many. Yeah, like after round 5 that I was like, crap. Like the value there would have been really nice. I was just looking at this. Ryan went in the 5th in ours, and then Breeze, Prescott, Jameis, who's not good in this format, but I love him. Wentz went in that 5th round. I was like, all right, well, we didn't get the value there, but I did want to throw one thing on Matty Ice because I think we were just talking about him and people being down on him, and I think one of the things people are pointing to is like, well, the defense was so horrible last year, so he won't have to throw as much, and they can't get much worse than they were last year, and that was a lot due to injuries. So hopefully they're healthier.
They're back this year. This defense is gonna rock.
So Matty Ice threw his second. It was the second highest yards and touchdown numbers. He was, I believe, 2nd in the NFL in attempts. So that's obviously huge. But with Dirk Cutter back in town, Matty Ice had been around 570 in pass attempts the previous 2 seasons before last year. But when Cutter was there from 2012 to 2014, they averaged 360 pass attempts when Cutter was the OC. So, like, I think there's a little bit, if you're going to say, well, he's not going to throw as much because the defense is better, I think you still have to consider, like, maybe they're going to throw that much because of the OC, right, coming back to town. So that's why I think that a lot of people are down on Matt Ryan, and I'd take him over Baker for a redraft league, and it's not even close, in my opinion. And you get him way cheaper. I was trying to look up his current ADP, but just feels like people are down on him.
Yeah, and it's not. Look, it's also people say like you got a bad defense, so you're always having to throw the ball to catch up.
Mm-hmm.
And look, the defense was horrid.
Yeah,
without Deion Jones, Keanu Neal, of course,
it doesn't help, does it? Like seriously.
Yeah, that'll hurt your team.
Just a little bit. So, but it's not. But if you look at the Falcons overall, mate, the Falcons are a team that aren't prone to taking their foot off the accelerator.
No,
even when they do have a lead, and it's not who they are. And if you look at I think with Cotter as the OC when he was there as well, that Matty Ice's efficiency was really good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he was really good.
Yeah. So, don't look at how many balls they throw. I think they probably threw less passes than he did under Shanahan. But you have a look at his efficiency levels. Like yards per throw were really high. So, and he hit more targets. And that mate, doesn't matter how many times you throw the balls, how many times you hit the goddamn target.
Sure, he's accurate as all get out.
So, especially in this league, like we were saying,
the
interception play.
Yeah.
And I found that maybe people weren't really looking at like the whole scoring system. Like I must admit that there were some guys, and I look back at it now and go, geez, I did reach for these guys, but I was taking into account the fact that maybe everybody's looking at what the scoring system is.
As us.
Yes, like I took Tevin Coleman in I think I took him in the 5th, so I must have taken my 2 quarterbacks at the 3rd and 4th.
That was early-ish.
And I took it, and then I look at it, and I'm looking at everybody else, and I'm asking like you guys, and I'm asking everybody else that we know is playing. And he goes, oh, yeah, he's still there in the 6th and the 7th. I'm going, but when you look at it, mate, he could easily, for every 50 yards receiving and every 50 yards running, you get a bonus of 5 points.
Yes.
And I'm looking at Tevin Coleman, so mate, he could easily get 50 yards receiving and 50 yards running. Rushing a game. He went
in the 9th round. He went in the 9th round in ours. And I was praying that he would get back to us. We had a quick turn, and we had to take the wide receiver in the 8th, but we had the quick turn. I was hoping he'd get there, and it was 3 picks ahead of us, and he got taken. But yeah, it is interesting. Coleman is somebody I think is going to be a huge value to people this year, and even paying up, like even in the 5th round, I think he can return that, man. He's in for big things, and he's shown that he can do it in the Shanahan offense, even on like limited touches, because he was a top 15 running back with Shanahan that second year that Shanahan was in Atlanta, and he only had like 100 and I can't remember. I think it was like 160 touches that year, but he was just a monster.
Yeah, and that was his second year with him too, wasn't it? The first year he was a rookie. So they've gone out and they've drafted him, and now he's gone, I'm going to go and get him as well and bring him across.
Yes.
Mate, that's value. That's telling you something.
And there's not a lot in that backfield.
Well, there's that
breeder,
mate,
yes.
If you look at there's like 33 blokes. Running
33 average players.
Yeah, exactly. They're not. Well, we saw what Breeder did last year, and I was actually really surprised that I had Breeder on our Too Legit.
Yes,
was it Too Legit team? Mm-hmm. No, on another league that I share a league with, and he almost took us to the playoffs. But when you look back at his scoring, it wasn't at the end of the year. It wasn't what I thought it'd be. I thought it'd be a lot higher.
I just came across him doing some research, and he was so in standard scoring he was 26th. That was PPR. In PPR he was 26th. I thought that was high. Like I was surprised at those numbers for Breida. Like I think if he just freaking could stay healthy for more than 6.5 minutes of his life, I would be buying into this kid for sure. He was a stud last year. 5.3 yards per carry, over 800 rushing yards, and only 153 attempps. I'm obviously looking at it now,
Don't say that, man. That's really just off the top of your head.
Yeah. But I think there's a lot of bodies there. And while I was disappointed what Coleman did in Atlanta last year, it felt like he just didn't like really take the reins when he finally had the opportunity. We've all been drafting him in the freaking 4th and 5th round in Atlanta for years. But I think now that he is going to be the lead guy there, I think he could be in for a pretty pretty damn good season in San Francisco. So I like that. It was funny, G, because you mentioned like at the Atlanta Falcons offense doesn't take their foot off the throat and all that. And I was looking at your team here because I pulled it up in our group chat, and you have to be the only one out of the 8 of us or 6 of us or whatever that are in this group chat that does not have Devontae Freeman on your squad. Like, you got to be the only one. We all have him.
He went. I think he went in the third. Might have gone in the third in our league. So I had, because I'm at a turn. You sort of.
It's hard.
So I took
Yeah.
Hopkins at 1, and
You drafted a receiver?
People go, I can't believe you got a receiver. I think who gave me a hard time about that? Someone gave me an absolute. I think it was Shane Hallam gave me an absolute caning about you're an idiot. I hope you don't take another one for the rest of the draft. But mate, look at the scoring system. Isn't it about who gives you the goddamn points?
Last I looked.
Mate, he scored like 4 in this score. He scored 400 bloody goddamn points. Like, just give me the guy that scores a point. So what do? Take a receiver in the third round that gave me 270? Nah, thanks. I want the guy that gave me 400.
I didn't even realize that you had Hopkins until you mentioned it, because looking at the rest of your team, I wouldn't have expected that you would have had to spend that pick on Hopkins. But overall, man, I think this is pretty solid.
It's not the team I thought. I think I put out a thing. There's not a team I thought when I started the whole thing that I'd actually end up with a lot of these guys on my roster.
Isn't that a common reaction? I mean, I feel the same. I feel like the first 11 rounds, yes, there were guys I missed out on, but I felt okay about it. And then the back half, I've had this conversation with G. Oh, man, I was getting sniped left and right, and I was just ending up with players. I was just like, oh, damn. Like, I was swearing constantly. Like, I was just 2 or 3 picks out. I was just always missing my targets. It's the most frustrating run home.
I'm just getting up my team. I don't even know what my team is, to be honest. I'm just getting it up now. I don't even know how to get. Like, everybody's putting up what round they drafted them. I don't know how they must be doing that from their laptop, because I can't do that from my phone. But all right, well, give us some. Like, there's people out there. They're going to be doing the redraft leagues now, and to me, the whole draft in mine, it sounds like a bit like in AJ's as well. That it was almost like a normal. The scoring system didn't seem to matter. Like, people were drafting in this league like a normal redraft league, and we'll say it was a super flex, but the scoring system just seemed to be like a normal PPR league to me.
The tight ends were the only thing that I saw through a lot of people's drafts that were affected by this, because everybody went really early on tight ends, where from what I could see, on the people that were sharing, you had to get them early. And I think that will be a trend even in kind of normal standard redraft leagues. We just had this discussion on our show last week on where you need to draft these guys. I mean, you got to pay up this year. I mean, Gronk's not around, but those top 3 guys are going at a premium. And
well, Kelsey's taken over from Gronk in that first round, hasn't he? He's become the Gronk get.
It's similar, man. Like, right now, it's funny because I'm looking at ADP just for redraft, and let's go half point. So Kelsey right now is going in the middle of the 7th according to Fantasy Football Calculator, but I don't know if I've seen him make it that far. Like, he's usually an early second, late first.
Yeah, he was the 5th pick in my league.
Most leagues.
Yeah, he was in ours too, I believe. I mean, that was the one position that definitely saw a huge bump was in Scott Fishbowl was the tight end. Absolutely, because it was definitely he went 5th in ours. I just double checked, and
the top 3 guys weren't making it back to the first 4 guys that got the top running backs.
Yep,
mate. The top 3 tight ends weren't getting back to him.
No.
They were gone. I took Kittle with my second. I'm just looking it up now.
Yeah, we had Ertz taken at the 202 and Kittle taken at the 205. So when we were back on the clock at the 209, none of those guys are available. So that's why we were able to go Watson and Rodgers in the 3-4 turn, because every time the tight end got picked, it pushed another running back down or, another quarterback down. And remember, we had a guy in our league that took a crap ton of receivers. So even though the rest of our league was off of that strategy, it kind of got a little negated because there was one guy in our league that took 6 wide receivers with his first 6 picks.
Whoa.
So,
so
it was interesting.
Okay, so the top 3 tight ends. So give some people this is what they're looking at. 3 tight end, like in redraft league, PPR league, they're probably going to be gone by the end of the second. Ertz, Kittle.
I don't know.
You don't think so?
I think it'll be mid third.
Yeah,
mid-third. Who's the mid-third guy? Is it Kittle? Or is it Ertz?
It's Ertz, I think.
I think it's Ertz too.
For me, if it's straight PPR, if it's like full PPR, I would take Ertz over Kittle. Just because I do think he's going to get more catches, not as many as he did last year, but I would give him that edge. Yeah,
getting the
I still think just a little slightly. I do think it's Kelsey one.
Yep.
I don't really think the other two have can compete with what he is potentially going to do in that offense again. But I think it's really close between Kittle and Ertz. I would go with Kittle unless it was full PPR, and then I
2A, 2B. You sort of look at them like that.
Yeah, okay. Yep, yeah, that's a great way to put it.
So they're gone. So what do you do if you're drafting? Do you just go screw it? I'm just going to not worry about. Yeah, I'm just going to hang out now. So who's the fourth guy you're going to go and get?
Is it Ingram?
For me, it is. For me, it's Ingram, man. And I don't think, and I kind of have him in a tier by himself. So I have Kelsey, Ertz, Kittle in tier 1 tight end, and then I have Ingram by himself. And right now, and I've been doing some best balls and mock drafts, things like that. I've gotten Ingram in the 5th, 6th round before, and I felt pretty good about that with that value. But he's the only guy that I would really even target before round 8 or 9. Probably. I don't really like any of those other guys. The only guy that I like even a little bit that's dropped to the 8th or 9th round in some of the mocks that I did, but his ADP is a little bit higher, is Jared Cook. He just seems to be the last guy there of the ones that we know are going to get targets. After that, if I miss out on the top 3, I don't get Ingram in a nice spot, maybe in that late 5th or 6th round, I'm just going to wait and take. I like Hooper's going in the 13th round right now.
Yeah,
Mark Andrews is going in the 14th round.
That's a good one.
Yeah,
I picked him up. I'm very happy with that.
I like Mark Andrews a lot in Baltimore. Is like a late guy that no one else is drafting right now. And then you can also go the route of just the old ass guys that are going to get injured, but as long as they're out there in week 1, you're fine. Like Greg Olson's going in the 13th in redraft ADP right now. Jordan Reed is going in the 14th. And you got Eifert's doesn't even have an ADP. So like, you can just wait until like I would take all of those guys over the rookies if you're in a redraft league right now.
Delaney Walker, there's another one for you.
Yeah, Delaney Walker.
Yeah.
But look,
Walker's going just ahead of Hawkinson, but yeah.
Okay. Because you brought up Jordan Reed. Now Jordan Reed's out of those guys would be the top of my list. Only because when he plays, he scores. But again, he just can't stand the
that's
bar.
why the top 3 are worth so much because there's massive question marks on every single other guy, basically. Whether it's who's under center, like Ingram, yes, sure, but you're dealing with that whole Giants offense. Ugh,
Njoku's another one. There's sort of,
but there's a ton of targets. That's the problem.
Exactly right, and really, Njoku's done has made some athletic, spectacular catches, but has he actually been really good for you as a tight end? Like I have him in a couple of leagues, and really, I start him every week, but it's not
super reliable.
He's not helping me win a given week, basically. Like he's not coming out and gronking it and giving you 2 touchdowns and 100 yards. He ain't doing that.
Yeah, and that's why I'm just waiting. Like if I don't get one of those top 3 guys and I miss on Ingram, I'm just waiting, and I'll just play the waiver wire game if I have to. But that was something that Seth he was saying that he was going to go after.
Who's dead to me?
Ertz or Kittle. Yeah, he who should not be named. That he would go with Ertz or Kittle, but I get it, but I've been somebody that's drafted Gronk so many times, so I've seen what that edge can do, but it seems like all these guys are going so early. I will gladly take. I've seen AJ Green dropping into the 3rd round, or these guys, and it's just like
he went. He went later in ours in our Scott Fisher. I think he might have gone.
I'm sure he was buried in that. Yeah, you can't draft the lepers, as I was starting to call them. Seth and I when we were drafting, because I was just like,
who's dead to me?
Dude, nobody wants these guys. Nobody wants wide receivers in this draft. It was crazy, but. If you're going to just punt on tight end, you can enjoy really nice values that you wouldn't usually get in that 3rd, early 4th round, in my opinion.
True.
In normal redraft leagues heading into this year.
Yeah. Okay, so we'll go through a few positions. At running back, who is someone that you think that you can wait on and he's going to give you a good return. You have a look. What was Patrick Mahomes' average? Did someone put up on Twitter? Patrick Mahomes' average draft position last year was in the 5th round.
Okay.
No, there's no chance that was 5th round.
Was it the 5th, or is that too early?
That seems way too early.
Too early.
We had him in a few leagues last year, and I remember that was like double digit.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm pulling it up real quick because I had a league where we took Luck because quarterbacks were going crazy. We took Luck in like the 6th, and then we got Mahomes in like the 12th, and that was no one would let us trade in that league, so that was a lot of fun.
Okay.
He was in according to Fantasy Football Calculator 2018, he was in the 10th.
10th round. Jeez.
QB 15.
There you go.
Which was crazy because I'm looking at this. The quarterbacks in the 10th round last year were Matt Ryan, Ben Roethlisberger, and Pat Mahomes, and those guys finished all top 3 last year.
Wow.
There you go. Unbelievable. This is what happens, isn't it? Everybody knows everything, don't they? And really, in the end, we know jack shit. We know nothing.
Absolutely.
You know. Okay, so give us a running back that in the second half that you guys might have looked at, AJ, that you looked at,
okay,
or I looked at, that you think could be, you know, like a top half of the draw. If probably you want him to be higher, obviously.
Mm-hmm. Are you talking? And sorry, just to clarify, so you're talking just like redraft leagues for 2019?
Yeah, just a redraft. You know, it gets to a point in your draft where, like Adrian and I, you maybe the first. I look at maybe like the first 7 rounds, first 8 rounds. You know, because most redraft leagues are what, say 16 rounds. You know, your average one.
I suppose.
So say your first 7, and then mate, after that, it is just it is all ceiling guys. And if they don't hit, screw it. There'll be someone, you know, I'll go and pick someone up, or hopefully I get them on waivers and I get him before someone else and my bid's high, but whatever. But there must be someone in that bottom half that you think you're going to get a bargain because they're going to be way better than what people think they're going to be.
Yeah, so I got a few names I can throw at you. And if your listeners have either followed me on Twitter or listened to the Fellas podcast at all, you're sick and tired of hearing me talk about Carlos Hyde, but he's going in the 9th round right now. He's a guy that, while he's not a perfect fit for the Andy Reid offense, just because he's not an elusive running back, he's not a fantastic pass catcher, but we've seen him do that before. Both, you know, fit into a more electric offense. When he was with Shanahan just a couple years ago, you know, he didn't even have 50 catches on his career. Heading into that season in 2017, and then he came out of that year as a RB1 in that system. Now, he was the starter; he didn't have to necessarily leapfrog anyone like we're looking at potentially him having to do over Damian Williams. But Carlos Hyde, you know, he had 59 catches that year after not even having 50 over his entire career. He fit into that offense even when he wasn't a perfect fit, and you know, yeah, they moved on from him because he's just not their type of running back, but. Kansas City, they signed him right when free agency started. They didn't really do much in the draft. And Damian Williams has, you know, he's had his opportunities. And while he is a better fit in the Andy Reid offense, there's still enough question marks that I'm willing to take the risk on Carlos Hyde in round 9. He's running back 41 off the board right now. And I don't mind that lottery ticket at all. He's somebody that I don't mind taking a shot on. 2 other guys you can get super late right now is I'll give one for if you're in a PPR league, and Nyheim Hines is in the double-digit rounds. You know, I like that a lot. He won't be a top 15 running back. I mean, he could pull a James White, Tariq Cohen, but I think he's capable of doing that. Maybe just a tick down. You know, I think he was running back 27 in PPR last year, and that was his rookie season. They're really going to utilize him in the passing game. They don't use Marlon Mack much at all, you know, as far as receiving goes. So Hines is going to see all of those carries. Luck loves throwing to, you know, tight ends and running backs. And Hines is somebody that's just getting, in my opinion, mad disrespected when you're talking about James White going in the 5th. You got Tariq Cohen right now. I believe he's going in the 6th or 5th or 6th round. I don't think Nyheim Hines is 7 rounds worse than those guys. And then the last guy that I'll throw out there, running back, who is not really a PPR guy, but is somebody that's just not getting talked up a lot. He's going behind Ito Smith, Devin Singletary, Deion Lewis. A guy that's, I think, second in line for carries, and that's Kalen Ballage in Miami. Now, I know the offense sucks. Kenyon Drake is a decent enough pass catcher. I think he can at least hold on to that. But Drake, this is not like the 15th regime, I think, in Miami, and Kenyon Drake's still holding on. But they're, again, said this before for Miami, they're not committed necessarily to anyone, right? Like, none of these guys are their guys. I think Ballage showed enough last season that he's at least worth a 14th round flyer At this point, he's going like behind the handcuff guys. He's going right around where Chase Edmonds is going. And I think Ballage is somebody that could work his way into a, 12 to, even 14 carry a game role, albeit on not a great team. But those are like some really, I guess, some deeper guys that I think are worth taking flyers on at running back.
The whole Miami offense, when I was doing the draft and I was looking at guys, and then you go, yeah, but he plays for Miami. Yeah. And that's seriously, that's the feeling you have. Who are they committed to? No, we don't know. We seriously don't know as trying to pick a fantasy player. Like I picked up Albert Wilson because I just think the position the position that he plays. If you look at Fitzmagic, mate, he leads the league in all quarterbacks for throwing to slot receivers. In the 32 teams that he's played for, he leads the league. So I thought, mate, well, even in Miami, he's got someone's got to catch the goddamn ball. But you don't know, do you? Like, he just it almost gets to a point where I wouldn't mind picking up one of those guys, that Kenyon Drake, but they play for Miami. I'm going to go. I'd rather go and pick someone on a different team.
Yeah, but one of the things that helps you win leagues is when you get value out of later rounds, doesn't it? Like does. It's like, okay, if you make your first round pick and they don't play up to the level of the ADP, then that's not good, right? From one perspective, but the other perspective is if you hit on some later round guys and they outperform their ADP, that's a winner. That's a big winner.
This is what we spoke about. Is what I find. I don't know about you, Kyle, but what I find is you go and get these great running backs and wide receivers, and then you wait, and then you go and get these two also quarterbacks. But to me, what you're actually doing is you're actually diluting how good your other players are, because these quarterbacks are getting slaughtered every week by the quarterbacks that you could have drafted.
Oh, sure.
Do you know what I mean?
I understand what you're saying.
Like, why give away at one position and get real quality, and then get you're scraping the bottle like Foster's beer. At the end of the day, they hose up what beer falls out on the ground. That's what Foster's is. So why go and dilute your team by? You've really got to hope then that these guys down the bottom do something. And really, are you going to? Do you trust them to do something? Because every week you look at them going, geez, I don't know if I can put them in my lineup.
And you probably can't.
No. To me, you got to try and find. Isn't there a bit more of a balance? Instead of getting high one end and low.
Low.
Yeah, like there was guys taking quarterbacks last year in ours, and they went and got these high end guys. And mate, you have one guy go down, you're screwed.
Yeah.
You go and like I don't know. You go and get a Todd Gurley, and all of a sudden he falls over.
Yeah.
And your quarterbacks are that bad that they can't actually carry the slack for you for the other positions. Am I making any sense there?
I think in a 2 QB or super flex, I absolutely agree with you. Like you can't let that slide just because you have to start two of them in order to be competitive. It's just in a 1 QB league. I think you can get away with it. I think you can. The top four, in my opinion, are head and shoulders. I think you're looking at like maybe 2 points a game. Which doesn't sound like a lot, but it's a decent amount advantage over the rest of your league. But then when you start talking about the guys after that, like for instance, like Jared Goff or Drew Brees for what he is right now in his career, Phillip Rivers, are they that much better than guys right now that are going borderline undrafted? You got Kirk Cousins, who's a top 12 quarterback last year. You have some upside with the young kids that can run the damn ball like Murray and Jackson. So I guess it's just like what do you want to commit to for the year? Everyone's chasing something. So are you willing to chase quarterback off waivers to try to find a guy that eventually you can plug and play, or do you think you have a better luck at another position? And that's why I usually lean towards. I'm one of those guys that'll wait. There's 20 guys that I'm comfortable with it being my starter heading into the season. So if I'm in a 1 QB league, I'm waiting as long as I can on some of these guys, and there's still going to be guys that pop, that weren't even drafted, in that first 10 rounds or whatever.
Okay, well, give us, Carl, couple of receivers you think sort of the same sort of boat as we was talking about with the running backs?
Sure. I'm just pulling up ADP here. The first one I'll throw out there as I'm pulling this up that I really like, and I was just trying to check where his ADP is at. I like Tyrell Williams a lot this season. He's somebody that's going super late. I keep talking about him, so hopefully I don't hype him up too much that people start drafting him over me. But he's in the 14th round, borderline undrafted right now in Oakland. I know AB is a target monster. He's also insane. I think so. We'll see what happens when the cameras are rolling at Hard Knocks. But regardless, we've seen Derek Carr be able to support 2 fantasy wide receivers in the past. Tyrell Williams is somebody that doesn't need a lot of targets to be productive in this league, and I think he is the clear-cut number 2. Without them adding a tight end, Jared Cook had been the leading target guy in Oakland over the last few years, a couple years. I think Tyrell Williams will be a really nice number 2 option for the Raiders.
Darren Waller.
Darren Waller.
Come on.
I know.
Yes,
your guy.
I hear you.
You know exactly what I'm talking about, don't
I do,
you?
yeah.
When he came out, I said, this guy's okay. Just keep an eye on him. And I've been
taken a while.
Please come out. Please be good. Please be good.
He's going to have a shot, man. Cook has been quietly really effective, over the last few years. So if it's not the case where Carr is going to get more comfortable and get these receivers their targets and sticks to what he's been doing over the last 2 years, as opposed to what he did before that, then one of those tight ends is going to be something. But yeah, the names are hilarious. I guess
hard to digest, aren't they? When you're going and doing a draft, look, Waller's not going to go in your redraft, 16 round. He's not going to go.
No,
he's not going to get picked up. Maybe in if you go have really deep drafts, he may, or if you're in some big leagues.
Yes, yeah. Then he may. So who's another guy you got down there at on the old wide receiver core?
Another guy that I like this year, he's going fairly late as well. Right now, and his ADP is going the opposite direction, which I've kind of liked because it was getting up into the 8th, 9th round range, but the reports haven't been as glowing about James Washington. They got to find somebody there in Pittsburgh to take some of those targets. Juju is going to step into that wide receiver 1 role per se, but he was getting wide receiver 1 targets last year. Both him and AB were top 5 in targets at the position, and Roethlisberger is going to chuck it. They didn't really make any changes that tell me that they're not going to throw the ball a lot. They were tops in the league last season in passing the ball. Roethlisberger was number 1 in attempts, 675. That's crazy. So there's going to be plenty to go around, even if they dial it back a little bit. Pittsburgh is pretty notorious for letting their receivers develop and not necessarily force them into work year 1. I liked Washington a lot coming out of school. Like we mentioned that I'm not a huge tape watcher, but Washington was somebody that I heard a lot of people talking about. And when he gets the ball, he really turned into a running back when he was in college. So that's the kind of thing that I think the Pittsburgh Steelers do value as somebody that is a playmaker once they get the ball in their hands. AB is a fantastic receiver, but he's always been good at making plays after the catch. And that's something that somebody like Dante Moncrief, as an example, he's a big body and can go up and get it, I guess. But I think Washington just lets them do so much more. So he's going in the 11th round, almost the 12th round right now in ADP. So he's somebody that I really like as well. So where do you guys land on that Pittsburgh situation? Because it's going to be I think there's some money to be made there.
I'm struggling really. I wasn't a massive fan of James Washington coming out. I think sometimes, Kyle, because I look at so many players, I sort of, if I don't like them, it's to my own detriment that it's hard for me to come back around.
Yes, yeah.
So if it got to the point that James Washington, I'd be probably looking at who else was around him. to be honest,
give yourself a reason to pick someone.
That's because when I look at him coming out, I go, yeah, well, and that's a ridiculous train of thought because of what I said at the top of the show is that guys get into a higher class of competition and they step up, they become a better player.
You've got to reevaluate.
You do, and maybe I should do that more often.
But I must confess,
I hold a grudge for a long time.
Yes. I haven't really encountered that yet, luckily. But
man, lucky you.
I must confess, I'm kind of where G is with James Washington a little bit, but partly for a different reason because I've for many years been a big fan of Moncrief and not
gotcha.
really seen him blossom. So, like, I'm really sort of bullish on Moncrief, actually. Well,
they're both going so late right now.
Oh, yeah.
So,
yeah.
I mean, they're free almost. I mean, they're going 51st and 52nd. They're going back to back right now in ADP, and I don't think that's going to change a whole lot, at least in the next few weeks. So we'll see, man. I think it's going to be interesting because I don't think any other target is walking out of there with 160 targets. That they don't just all go to one guy, but I think 130 is definitely available for somebody, whether it's Moncrief or Washington or the rookie they drafted or Vance McDonald, whose ADP is insane at the moment. But there's definitely, I just think there's a lot of opportunity available for the taking there in Pittsburgh. So I'll take one of those lottery tickets, and hopefully scratch it off and, it turns into something. Because I think Washington is, or Moncrief could be fine lottery tickets to take on draft day.
Yeah, and I kind of feel like with both those guys, like I've got some, not tons of shares, but I've got some shares of both of those guys that I got fairly cheap, which you can get them pretty cheap, which I'd really kind of like to cash out. So hopefully those guys kind of, they do burst onto the scene a little bit, in which case, from a dynasty perspective, I'd be cashing them out.
Yeah. Well, I just bought a Washington share, so hopefully it's at least a little bit.
Look, another guy that I find that doesn't get much respect, and that's Marvin Jones.
Oh, true.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, he doesn't, man. He's going 36th right now in redraft ADP, 8th round. I mean, it's just what I like. Sometimes it's just fun when you look at these guys that go second, on their team. And you look at where the first guy went, is he really 5 rounds worse than Kenny Golladay right now? The thing with Detroit though, there's probably only going to be one, right? I just don't know if they're going to throw the ball enough.
But last year until he got injured, he was a guy.
Yeah, he was.
Mate, he had. Yep. I'm just trying to get up his numbers here, but it had. Then now it's gone. Stupid phone.
It's tech.
It's tech. Yeah. It's tech. Once he mean tech. But I think he's around 500 plus yards, 5 touchdowns, and that's in the first 7 games. Now he was the target, and mate, he's a fantastic contested ball catcher. He's just one of those guys that's just never like man. I think 2017 he had over 1,000 yards, 9 touchdowns. Yep. Mate, you could probably get him as your number 3 bloody wide receiver.
Oh,
mate,
sure,
easily. Mate, that's just ridiculous. I just think he's just a guy that's just a little bit misunderstood.
Yeah, last year I just pulled it up. He had 9 games, 508 yards, and 5 touchdowns.
There we go, 9 games was it? Okay.
But he had 3 straight years, including 2 of those with Detroit, of over 100 targets, over 900 yards both those seasons. You were spot on. 2017, 1,100 yards and 9 touchdowns. Okay. I think his on pace numbers were a little bit less than that, but I think he could do that. And again, like I said, he's going freaking. In the 8th round, back into the 8th round. He's definitely one of those guys that people are just like, he's not sexy, right? So
that's what it is, isn't it? Yeah, when you look back at your team and you see Marvin Jones in your team, you go, it's not a very sexy pick. I want the sexy names, I want the but not just that. I mean, I sort of, mate, don't.
He's pretty sexy.
That's a tough decision.
He is. Seriously,
which one?
Is he the best wide receiver in the NFL?
Is he the best Jones? To be honest, I mean Marvin, he's close. He's close. No, I think he is the best. I think he's the best receiver in the game. For fantasy, I wouldn't put him there because just for some reason they don't utilize him right.
Just about as a wide receiver, just everything about him: speed, size. Okay, he's put down a few balls at some critical times, but overall, mate, he's. Mate, that ball,
it's a Super Bowl catch. Come on.
Oh, that to me, I'm still pissed about the fact that everybody talks about the Jared Cook catch from Aaron Rodgers. It's probably more the throw than the catch. Mate, that was a simple catch. He dove on. He sort of leant out. Easy catch for a guy that's paid millions of dollars to catch a goddamn football. But you go and have a look at that catch in the Super Bowl, which was the catch that should have won the Super Bowl for the Falcons. Mate, you have a look. People go back and have a look. That is an unbelievable catch. Mate, that is one toe in knowing where he is. leaning out of bounds between two defenders, not distracted, full reach. I reckon the ball's out by two yards when he catches the ball.
It's impressive. There's no doubt.
Yeah, Julio is a monster, man. He gets. I don't think he gets the credit he
I went off on a
deserves.
tangent there. I just got a little bit worked up.
That's all right.
For my boy.
You look a bit flush.
I hate Jared Cook too. F that guy.
All right. So, okay. What about we should start wrapping this thing up. What about we got tight ends? Let's not worry about the quarterbacks because, mate, there's that many quarterbacks we spoke about. But what about tight end? We got the three. We know all those. Who's a guy that those guys? Once they're gone, we're all waiting then, except for Ingram, who sort of falls in the middle, doesn't he, of that heap. So who's the guy that you're looking at? You're probably going to get in the, what?
Really
After,
late?
Yeah, late. You're going to get late that could actually do something for you. Though you don't have to, he doesn't have to, he's not going to be a winner for you, but he's not going to hamper your team either. He's going to give you consistent points, and he's going to have those weeks probably that could, put him up in the top 5 on any given week.
Yeah, so there's two guys that I like right now, and it's tight end is a tough position because I don't really know I don't feel with either of these guys that they could be top 5 consistently. They could
top
do
5's
it,
a big call. Yeah.
I'm not saying consistently. I'm saying these guys, they could give you weeks during the year that could put them into the top 5. And if you can get the rest of your team does what it's meant to do, and you get a tight end. They can give you a top 5 week. That could be enough to give you the win that given week.
That's not the question. It's picking the week. Isn't it? Isn't that
mate, when you look at your bench every week, isn't that the question you have every week?
Yes, it is.
Is which one of these guys that has been sitting on my bench and riding my bench can I put in this week over a guy that is a good floor guy? Now, which one of these guys on a ceiling week am I going to put in and drop this floor guy?
Can be matchup dependent.
And it could, and could completely screw up my week.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that one of the guys that I think will be pretty consistent, and the consistency helps even if it's like kind of slightly above mediocre, is because if they're consistent enough, then you don't have to worry about missing out on the week that they do hit because they're just going to be in your lineup every week. And the guy that kind of is just like the staple for me for that is Austin Hooper heading into this year. Like he was 4th among tight ends in catches last year quietly. He had a really good season. He didn't have the touchdown numbers.
Memphis is big on this team. Memphis is riding this pony all the way home, isn't he? If this is no good, he's riding it straight to the glue factory.
I think he's traded for him in every damn league I'm in. Like, it's been like it seemed like every week there it's just like, oh, trade. Let's take a look. Oh, look, Memphis is trading for Austin Hooper again. What do you know?
When I picked him up in the Scott Fish bar, I felt the hug come through the phone.
Yeah, I mean, it's Hooper. I think is somebody that can at least do what he did last year, and in PPR leagues that was huge. Like I said, 4th among tight ends in catches, which was super quiet. He just hasn't put up numbers over the course of his career, but he's still young. He's entering, I think, his 4th season, and so I think he can be somebody that's fairly consistent, and like I said, consistent enough that he doesn't get bounced out of your lineup, and then all of a sudden he hits while he's on your bench. That's the most annoying thing. There. And so the other guy I was going to throw out there that I think can definitely compete to be a top 10 tight end this year is, and we mentioned him earlier, but it's Mark Andrews. He's going 14th round. He's somebody that is a little bit different than like the flyer injury older guys because I think this is somebody that can develop into somebody you can actually start 16 games. We kind of threw out like Jordan Reed earlier or whatever. Like I like Reed, but there's no chance in hell he's playing 16 games. Andrews is somebody that is going to be, while he's only in his second year, he's going to be one of the people that Lamar Jackson is the most familiar with because everybody else in the damn team is rookies. You got Boykin and Brown maybe going to be out there, and Hurst has had trouble like staying on the field and everything. And they blow up the running backs again this year too. So Andrews is like the closest thing you have to a staple.
Mate, you're exactly right. And it was his guy last year, and the first year together. Yeah. And look, every year, as in college, Jackson got better at throwing the football with every year. And if that continues, mate, the guy that like you said, is most familiar with him and he trusts, obviously, is Mark Andrews. And at the moment, I'm just looking at the Fantasy Pros here, and at the moment he is, where are we? I just had him here. Come on, you son of a... He is
That-
tight end 20.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Like Noah
It's
Fant,
crazy.
Jordan Reed's, Jimmy Graham's, Greg Olson's above him. Like, seriously, I think Greg Olson's come to has signed himself to the fact he goes, it's gone from, it's going to be a good year. I hope this year's okay for me. I hope.
Right.
He doesn't even know.
Yeah, it's tight end is rough as it is, but those are just a couple names I guess I wouldn't mind throwing a dart at. I freaking loved Chris Herndon coming into this year, even though they added some, Crowder and they brought a Nunwa back. I was like, I still like what I saw from Herndon in his rookie year, and then now he gets 4 games.
Yes.
So he's off the radar now. You got to just in the Jets. Their bye week is like week 4, so Herndon won't even be available to fantasy owners to week 6.
Yeah,
so forget that.
I like Ian Thomas.
Yeah,
but still having Greg Olsen lurking around is a bit of the Hunter Henry / it's
Antonio Gates.
Gates sort of scenario, isn't it?
Yeah, but Greg Olsen, I mean, you're a fair shot for Thomas to see the field, I would think.
Oh, Thomas is definitely going to be started by mid-season. He'll be a streaming option at minimum because I don't see Olsen making it through. Thomas, did you guys watch that All or Nothing series or whatever that Amazon puts out?
No. I've watched it before. I haven't seen I haven't seen the last one.
The Panthers one just dropped this weekend.
Oh, really? This weekend?
Yeah. So it's been I've watched it the last few years, and of course Olsen gets injured back it up. So the thing for your listeners that don't watch it, it follows a team from the previous season. Yep. So you already know what's going to happen. But it's so cool to kind of see some behind the scenes stuff. So anyway, Olsen gets injured week 1. And then Ian Thomas is...
Spoilers.
Spoiler. So Ian Thomas is out there getting a lot of focus on the show. And the dude he just looks like a receiver, and he's not somebody that people are really familiar with. He didn't really play a lot of college ball, but I like Ian Thomas a lot. If you're in Dynasty, he's somebody that I still think you can get at a reasonable price. Oh, yeah. And things. But for redraft, he's going to be somebody that is going to be started at some point. That's a bold claim, but I'm going to make it.
I must confess
that it's going to be started at some point.
The first All or Nothing, which was the Cards.
I like how you go out. Mate, you really do out in the league, does he? That's why we get him on.
I hedge the crap out of myself. That way I can't go wrong. He may be decent. Who knows? Don't come knocking on my door when he sucks.
I look forward to that. I'll definitely check that out. I did watch the first season was a cracker. That came out of nowhere. The Cards one, but then the one after that, I can't remember who they did after that.
It was the Rams.
Oh, was it the Rams or was that? Or am I thinking of Hard Knocks? But you might be right, actually.
They did. The Rams did Hard Knocks and All or Nothing. I think in the same season, if I remember that right.
Because
I know
it could be right.
I know the Rams were definitely on All or Nothing because the way that show ended was them bringing in Sean McVay and him like going through their draft and all that stuff. It was crazy because then obviously hindsight looking back on it, he's a damn genius. But it's always funny when you look at Jacksonville doing their London thing and the Rams were forced to be on Hard Knocks and did All or Nothing, and now the Raiders are doing Hard Knocks. It's like there's definitely this behind closed doors dealings going on. Like, okay, we'll let you move your team, but you're going to need to do this show for us. Or, you can do this, but you got to do this for us. That type of thing. Like, you can buy the Jags, Mr. whatever mustache, but you got to play in London. So it was kind of funny that they made him do that. But the Rams, that was interesting because that was Goff's. I think that was Goff's rookie year. It had to be Goff's rookie year. Yeah, and you had the Jeff Fisher thing going down.
Spoiler alert, it wasn't the all, it was the nothing. And it was a big lot of nothing.
Hey, can we just go back to tight ends? Because I just want to talk about a tight end that I picked up in the Scott Fish Bowl, and now he's a rookie.
And you didn't draft a rookie, did you?
I did draft 2.
Did you?
Yeah. I did draft 2.
Man, what a waste. Cut him now.
Yeah. Well, I think one of them was my second last pick. My second last pick was Cole Beasley.
Oh,
hey.
Hey, mate, what do you mean? Hey,
go and have a look. Go and have a look at the Bills' wide receiving core. Deep
street cred right there.
Deep. You got 3 deep guys.
Okay.
Brown.
Oh, they like it.
Who are the 3?
Zay Jones.
Zay Jones and Robert Foster, all deep guys.
Right.
All speed guys.
Yeah.
I think Zay Jones can play short area.
He's going to have to because I think he's the third guy of that list at the moment of the deep guys, the deep threat sort of Blake guys. But mate, Cole Beasley, mate, the dude gets separation.
I was going to say maybe they should get together with.
And
the
you should know that better
and,
than anything, Cole. About I know that it's not good having a God's clown on your team, a redheaded stepchild. No one wants one. Okay.
Yeah, they should.
Mate, second last pick, like who 22 round draft.
They should bloody get together with the Cards and make a football team because I mean the Cards drafted how many damn slot receivers?
Now, a guy that I just took a flyer on was Carl Waring.
Who? What?
Is that how you pronounce his
You mean
first name?
Kahale?
Kahale?
Right.
Kahale?
I thought it was Kalia. No, all right.
No, Kahale. It's very. Well, Adrian's got his Hawaii.
I would say
very Hawaiian. He's very islander.
Yes.
Okay.
If I had to guess, I'd say Kahale Waring.
Yes. Well,
that sounds right.
I picked him up with my last pick. Now, okay, he's on a depth chart. You got Jordan Akins, and you've got
the other Jordan.
The other Jordan. What's his name? I'm trying to think of the other. Jordan Thomas.
Yes.
Okay. Now Jordan Thomas.
Which one's the better one?
Well, Akins was taken in the 3rd. Jordan Thomas was taken in the 6th, I believe. I'm just shooting off the top of my head. Thomas was a better output.
Oh, was he?
Year, right?
Okay. And Jordan Akins is 37 million years old.
Oh, he came in. Yeah, he's already like 30. He's been in the league. This is his second year.
He's 30.
He's 27.
No. He's
27.
Yeah,
but he's in his second year.
Like Hayden Hurst.
But you have a look. Have a look at the wide receiver. Kiki QT hasn't worked first year. Couldn't stay healthy.
No.
Will Fuller's never been able to stay healthy.
No.
Now, outside of those two guys, who else do they have at the wide receiving core?
Nuke.
No, I'm not even talking about Nuke's a given.
Braxton Miller, right?
Braxton Miller. Okay.
Come on, don't just search the name.
Now,
and does Nuke ever have any time off? He is super consistent.
He is.
Reliable.
Hence why I grabbed him.
Well, hence why
he's 400
yes,
points.
of course, and
then got canned. But mate. Already in OT, Waring is he's 6'5", about 250, and I think he ran at the combine like a low 4.6. Mate, this dude, and he's used to play. He was a goalie for his water polo team, so mate, he's a super athlete.
Well, I mean, what the hell are we doing here then?
Mate, he had all his scores were mate. You say that and take the piss out of me all you want, but you're not going to go and draft him, but just keep your eye, mate. He could be by the time the first game rolls around.
So you're saying in the rain?
He could be
good?
He could be. You're an idiot. He could be probably not good playing in the stadium that there's got a roof on it, haven't they? Yeah, shit, that's no good. He could be the tight end, the starting tight end in Houston come week 1.
Yeah.
And mate, on a team that throws the ball with a quarterback that everybody's drafting, like in the first few rounds, because of what he can do, with a receiving core that two of them are injured more than half the year. So just keep an eye on it. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying go and draft.
I don't hate it. We had somebody in our draft prospecting series that we did before the draft that brought up Waring as a deep sleeper in the NFL draft. So for him to land somewhere where he at least has a clearer path to some playing time, I don't hate it. And especially in SFB, man, that tight end premium is real. So you need that. Remember last year my tight ends when I did the team by myself, I drafted Evan Ingram and Jack Doyle, and I was like, Dunzo, didn't draft anyone else. And I had to blow all my fab money on Ian Thomas. And then this year, drafting the team with Seth, similar scoring, our two tight ends leaving the draft. Yes, our two tight ends leaving the draft were Evan Ingram and Jack Doyle. So we're probably screwed.
Yeah. Well, mate, 22 round, I took 4. I took 2 rookies. I took rookies in situations that I thought might be worth. I took Josh Oliver in Jacksonville because of the quarterback he's playing with. now with Nick Foles, and I took Carly Waring because of the quarterback he plays with and where he might be and what he's already showed in OTAs already. That he's blowing everybody away. And the other two I took were your staples, which I took George Kittle and Austin Hooper.
Nice. That's good. That's really good.
So
there
we go.
Yeah, we took Uzuma as our third. So
mate,
that's good.
I love a little bit of Uzuma. The dude is athletic.
Oh yeah.
20th round, and I'm one Eifert injury away from having a third starter, so it's gonna happen.
Yep.
Oh, you'd put money on that.
Yeah, you might as well. I hear that.
Let's wrap it up, hey?
Yeah.
But it's been awesome. The only
I've got hedges to get back to.
The only guy that agreed to come on with us.
I know.
I'm feeling a little bit neglected here, but anyway, never mind.
I'll let them off. I'm sure that they just have live. I mean, I was just seriously just hanging out. It's just doing nothing.
I'm glad you were. Glad you don't have a life. We were.
Yeah, hey, all good. If I could trim my hedges in the dark, I would, but don't want to nick something by accident.
No, it's dangerous territory when you're trimming your hedges, isn't it, G?
Mm-hmm. Oh, well, that's what I was going to talk about. Spray tan tomorrow.
Spray tan?
I'm getting
Why?
Mate, because it's winter.
What?
Look at my legs. You can see.
What is winter in Australia? Like,
how do you mean?
What does that mean?
Winter?
Well, look, we don't get snow, but it's cold. It is cold.
It has been. It has been a little bit icy this winter. Granted, the last 3 weeks have been pretty goddamn average.
Yeah,
but not snow. We don't get snow, mate. We don't.
Gotcha.
Not that cold.
The wind is all.
But it's not. That's not
through you.
But look at mate, that's white.
It is white.
I'm Cole Beasley white.
You are Cole Beasley white.
I head to Spain on Wednesday, and I'm not rocking up because people will think I'm British. I don't think they're big fans of the British. Right?
Where are you going? You're like a world traveler.
Nah, off to Spain for...
and Austria.
Yeah, Spain for 10 days and Austria for 2 weeks.
People in Spain don't like British people?
No, I don't think they're big fans of the
I think they get a lot of them.
They get a lot of them.
Yeah.
I was going to say, it's right there, isn't it?
Yeah. They don't mind the tourist dollar, but I don't think they probably like the... But I don't want people to think I'm British. So I said, I'm not going to get a tan. I just get rid of the white. I don't need to look like I've been in Bali for 2 weeks. I just get rid of the white. So
a slight tint.
Just a slight tint, please.
Yeah.
Mate, I'm going to give it a go. I'm getting it for free.
Are you?
Yeah, I'm getting it for free.
How do you get a free spray tan?
People you know.
People you know.
What you know, not... What is it? It's who you know, not what you know.
Right.
So I thought, mate, for free, if I was paying for it, I wouldn't worry about it.
Right.
But for free, I'm not going to knock back a freebie, mate. So I head down there tomorrow.
Very nice.
Get a bit of a spray. And then, the day before I go, I'll do my clipping, make sure I'm all neat and tidy.
Your manscaping.
Mate, my manscaping.
Oh, listen, when you do the spray, is that like any particular area? Like the whole body?
Yeah, once you want to clean up before you get spray tan?
Yeah, but that's a good point. I was thinking about maybe doing the clipping tonight.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, some places I don't have are always looking sharp. But yeah. So, but no, you wear the lady said you wear jocks, underwear, and just pair that you want to throw out.
Oh, because it's going to get sprayed.
It's going to get sprayed,
right?
Yeah, they give you those little. They give you those little like the ones when you have surgery.
Oh yeah.
I said, ain't no way I'm wearing those. No, mate, that's embarrassing enough when you have an operation. You're asleep the whole time. You don't know what the hell they're looking at. Really, do you? You don't know. You're not telling me. You're not telling me not having a quick look.
I don't know that it's really on the agenda.
Hey,
that wouldn't be that appealing, surely.
Yeah, who knows what they're doing?
Yeah,
but anyway, I'm not wearing those. So that's all you wear.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. So
Oh, nice.
I'm looking forward to that tomorrow.
I've learned a lot. See, that'd be dangerous to me because they'd be like, where ones you're gonna throw out? I'm like, oh, okay, cool, no problem. I got a whole drawer full of ones with holes. It's just an elastic band at this point. I'll whatever. I'll just wear that.
Perfect. Absolutely.
Those are on the chopping block.
That's a bit scary that you actually keep them in your wardrobe. In your drawers.
I mean, you just don't know. Just like emergency reserves. You know?
Oh yeah.
I just turn them inside out if it gets to that. But
one of those is better than none.
It is.
Yeah.
All right. On the note of talking about jocks, we should probably call it that. We're sort of sinking to the fostered beer level of conversation now.
Oh, yeah.
That's right.
Dang it. This is my wheelhouse. I guess we'll sign off then.
Well, listen, it's just been a shoot the shit kind of a pod.
Just talking. We just
And
put one out there.
anyway, whoever listens to this, I hope you got something out of it. Maybe, who knows? Maybe you didn't. Maybe you already turned off 20 minutes in. You're just like, I'm not listening to this crap. I'll go and trim my hedges. Maybe you did. Do some manscaping. Good on you. But obviously tune into the FF Fellas. If you're not subscribed to them, then do.
Tune into Carl anyway.
Yes, Kyle at least. Maybe you can,
Yes.
Just like fast forward when you hear the other voice, the other co-host who will not be named, chime in.
He's dead to me.
You can hit the little 15-second advance little
Yep.
wheelie thing. Boom.
It's amazing how he's gone from the love of my life to like, I turn quick. He didn't come on today, I turned bang, like that.
Yeah, man. I'll try to stay in the good graces, but
That's right.
It's difficult, it sounds like.
Man. Yeah, he's demanding. He's very demanding. But he gives back.
Hey.
He
Full
gives
of
back.
love.
He's full of love.
Full of love.
Yeah. That's right. But anyway, thanks for joining us and thanks for listening in, if you've been listening in, and that's it.
Quickly.
Yeah, so you can, anywhere podcasts are found, just search the Fantasy Football Fellas, and this next week is our last week of dropping 2 episodes, because then we kick it up to 3 episodes a week
You guys
Man.
are amazing.
You crank it
in
out.
August.
Man.
And then 4 episodes a week in season, man.
Oh, what?
Yeah.
Are you
Yeah,
serious?
we don't mess around. I'm dead
4?
serious. We did it. Yep. Yeah. It's busy times, bro.
Dude, we're going to struggle to do 1.
Well, like I said, we don't got a lot going on else, so we're pounding out episodes, man. We did, I think, 150 last season or something like that, close to that. So we push out a lot. So it's been fun. We're gonna try again this year to do 4 episodes. Try to keep them a little bit shorter, which helps, to be honest with you guys. But just search for the Fellas. You can follow me on Twitter at KyleFFFellas. I've been doing some writing this year. Somehow I found someone that could edit my word vomit, so that's kind of been fun. But yeah, man, I'm excited for football to start, man. I'm tired of talking about it as much. I want it to freaking see some games,
Oh, yeah.
We got a while to go still.
Always. We're always really pumped for the Hall of Fame game. Yeah.
I went 2 years ago. I went to the Hall of Fame.
Isn't it amazing, just before we wrap out, you go, we can't wait, Hall of Fame game, and it's just like, this is not real football. We wait for it, we hang out for it. Yeah, well, all I want is football, but no, I don't want that football.
It's just a training camp scrimmage, really. Not even that. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I was. You're talking to a guy that was recording.
You're looking at the unemployment line,
games.
aren't you? That's what you're looking
at. Alliance of American Football, man.
Oh, you love that.
I was in that for a month.
But they're like all the preseason games, you're just watching the unemployment play. Yeah,
unemployment in progress.
Yeah, these guys will be in the queue next week. Unfortunately,
you can literally watch a guy get fired on the spot.
Yeah, that's right.
It's like, oh, he dropped it.
Yeah, there we go.
You gone.
That receiver is wearing number 6. He will not be on the team by lunchtime tomorrow.
Yeah,
exactly. That's a giveaway too. What number you rock up on into the ground?
With. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. All right, then. We'll love you and leave you, mate. You go and enjoy whatever you got left over. What is it? Saturday night there.
Probably sleep at this stage.
Yeah, sleep. Mate, we'll chat as we always do.
We will
off air and during the week, and we'll get you guys. Adrian will get you on for the Cowboys preview.
Yeah,
so, you might do that while I'm away. So if you do,
we'll see how we go.
Yeah. If not, hold that one because I like to talk Cowboys.
I'm going to try and hold your faves. I'll try to hold your faves for you, G, and I'll get the boring ones out of the way if I can. Anyway, hope you enjoyed this. A little bit of a casual, different discussion.
Just a chat.
Just a chat.
Quiet time.
Yeah, exactly. So why not?
We're in between everything at the moment, aren't we?
Precisely. So thanks as always for listening, and till next time, on behalf of Gia and myself, catch you next time.